Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Inside the Den. Now today we're going to take a look at Dragona Online. And this is a free-to-play fantasy MMORPG that has some pretty cool transformation into dragon elements. So let's get started. As you can see, we're in the character creation mode here, and you've got 4 different races that you can choose from: the human, the Kali, the Elden, and the Ketcha. Each of those have 2 different classes, and unfortunately each of these classes are gender locked, but let's run through them. So the human has the gunner and the sniper. As you can see, it's showing you your transformation, and we'll get into that in a little bit. You got a little bit of a description not only of the race but also the class profile. So that's the gunner. Then you've got a sniper, which is your female. She's got this long range sniper rifle. You'll see her change back to her actual human form. You can kind of move these around and get a look at the full character model. You can see the graphics are pretty well done and pretty enticing in certain areas. So then you got the Kali as a guardian, kind of your now obviously the human is more of your long range DPS and stuff like that. The Kali has your guardian, which is more of your tank, and then your assassin, which pretty self-explanatory. Some of these classes are not excuse me, not above the norm as far as your classes are concerned. The assassin. Then moving on to the Elden, you've got a ranger, which is your male, long range DPS with a bow, has some other skills, stuff like that. Then you've got the female as a magician. Let her do her little transformation. These characters I've seen around, and they do some pretty good DPS as far as the stuff that I've seen. Then you've got the Ketcha, which has the shaman or the shaman, depending on how you want to say it. And then also the scout. And the scout also has some pretty cool traps that they can lay down and stuff like that. But we're going to go with the magician, so we get to watch that again. And then let's go ahead and select. And there we go. We've got our character. So here we go. We've got a few different face types. Let's see how many total do we have. Looks like we have 5 different face types. So we can pick a few of those, and then we've got, let's see, same 5 different hair types. So let's pick one that we like. That one works. And then we've got hair color, which we can either choose kind of a standard color, or we can kind of use this little color rainbow to choose from. We're going to go with kind of a dark purple. I actually don't like that face too much, so let's go with something else. That one's a little bit better. Now, here's where it gets interesting. So when you get into the game and you're able to do transformations, which we'll discuss how you do that once we get into the game, you start out by only being able to do partial transformations. So you can only transform part of your body into the dragon. Let's make her a little more enticing, make the little cleavage action right in the middle there. So you choose kind of which partial transformation you want to select first, and you can see there's a little bit of description there. So if you choose the head, it increases mana point recovery, which probably would be very helpful for a magician. And if you choose the arm, elemental attack and max attack, the legs or the feet, you got increased movement, and the chest, increased hit point recovery. I'm actually going to go with the arms and go with the elemental attack and max attack, because I'm guessing as a magician this will be very helpful. The mana recovery will probably be very helpful too, but I'm going to tell you why I'm not going to choose that once we get into the game. So let's go ahead and name our character. Nothing strange there. You guys know exactly which name I'm going to choose. Yes, and then let's head out here. There we go. There she is. So as you can see, I lose all the armor that I had in there. You can see I also have this level 11 guardian that I kind of played around with a little bit. So let's jump right in and play. Now the game does have some pretty unique features like the dragon transformation. It also has the PvP is this battle arena that essentially happens at different times of the day. You can only get in there once you're above level 15, but the PvP is really rewarding. So you can jump in there and you can take part in all these different types of battles. Some of them are 3v3 or 6v6, all the way up to even large scale, like 100 v 100. But if you win your battle essentially by keeping this guardian thing alive or keeping it with the highest hit points, when you finally get to the end, you actually get a lot of stuff. You get experience, you get items, you get all kinds of different stuff. So they made the PvP in the game very rewarding, which is kind of cool. So well, let's get started. So we jump right in. This is one of the cool things that I actually like about the game is you're going to have these little remote chats things pop up. Essentially what that's going to do is going to keep you from having to chase all around and find all these NPCs that you're going to get quests from. Now sometimes you will have to go turn in quests to some of these NPCs, but for the most part you're actually not going to have to do that. You're just going to do everything through this remote chat. So So here we go. Communication has been established. When your ship went down during the Black Dragon attack. Okay, thank you. Let's just get to the first quest. So we need to take out some of these deteriorating sea turtle dragons. Let's see what skills we have. We actually have our skills are underneath here, underneath our little chat. But we have, let's go ahead and take this down a little bit. Let's see if we've got some menu stuff. I think we may have, maybe having some issues with the actual video display. Looks like we're up as high as we can go. So that's one thing that I noticed, that maybe I'm missing it or something like that, but I can only go up to 1600 by 900. So that's kind of disappointing that I can't go to the full 1900. But there we go. Chat went away, so I can maybe see what skills I have. I have Magic Arrow, and I have one other one. But anyways, let's just kind of start using these. Of course, they're going to be all range attacks. Pretty fast cooldown. These things are all going to go down pretty quick. And they automatically give me a pickup here at 5, so we could pick up different items. Now you'll notice, as I kill some of these, they'll drop orbs. And here's my transformation right here, so you can see my Bola arm. So once I have enough of the of this actual essence saved up, you'll see that in a second. I'm going to actually be able to transform. So I was able to transform before I got any essence, but you'll see that in a second. You'll see these big blue orbs that drop that I'm going to be able to pick up. But this is what I was talking about right here. So we just click right there, and this is essentially how we're going to turn in all of our quests. And there you go, received. Now this is why I didn't go with the mana point recovery option, was because when we go into the actual inventory, so we're going to open this package, kind of the starter package. Look at all of these these hit point and mana potions they give you. There's so many. So really, in my mind, it would have been such a waste to use the dragon transformation, the partial transformation that I would have gotten for something that gave me mana point recovery when they give me so many potions. So something to think about when you jump in the game. You also get a few of these novice potion of speed. Obviously, that's going to speed you up. Movement increased by 5. We're going to go ahead and use one of those. Oh, unfortunately, they're not for very long. It's only for like... Oh, wait, actually, no, it looks like it's going to last pretty well. So, and then we've got these Return to Nazalon scrolls. We don't need to use any of those right now. Let's get the next quest. So basically, we need to kill some more of these guys. A lot of the quests are running around, killing different stuff, killing things to get these, get different items, stuff like that. So let's go ahead and take out this raptor. Nice thing is we've got a nice range on the distance there, and we automatically pick up any quest items, so we don't have to sit there and hunt those down. We also have room for quest items in a different bag, which is kind of nice. So you can keep all your stuff there, and then you've got all of your, the things that you find, and potions and gear and stuff like that will go into this bag. So that's kind of nice that they're separated out like that. So let's take this guy out. The game also does have a item reinforcement system, so you'll start to get different reinforcement pieces and stuff like that. So you're going to be able to take and essentially enchant up your the different items that you have. Obviously, you want to save those for the really good items that you're going to take and have for a very long time. And you have to find a certain NPC, and once you find that NPC, then you're going to be able to use that item reinforcement system. So here's the kind of the essence that I was talking about. All we got to do is get nice and close to it, and we'll automatically pick it up, which is kind of cool. So that refilled up, and now I can take it when that wears off, which I believe it actually has. I don't believe I have the partial. Yeah, see, I don't have the partial transformation, and they automatically put the transformation in F1. So actually, I did. I just turned it off. I did have it on. So. But we finished out that quest, so we can turn that in. They also have these little tips that come up here. So it talks about character death. There'll be a ton of those that come up. I think it's not showing all of them because I already went through a lot of this stuff. But you see you've got the animated guide, which will go through, and if you have different questions or you forget about stuff, basic shortcuts, attack and survival, all of this stuff is right in here. It's kind of nice that it has that. You can either press G to display the table of contents again, or you can just kind of leave it up there. They give you this map here, so you can take and you can also automatically move around to where different things are. So let's get this next quest and I'll show you how that works, and also what it does on the map. So yep, so we get hedge scheme, Click the relevant schematics and parts. So this is actually part of the crafting system. So there's a full crafting system that you're going to want to use. So available ingredients. So we don't have the ingredients. So once we have the ingredients, we're going to be able to craft this. So we need Tear of the Ocean, a broken dragon heart fragment, and dragon transformation shell. And we'll be able to craft that. We don't have it, so we can't actually craft it. But that's one thing that you'll get along your adventures and stuff like that, is you'll get these different schematics that you're going to be able to create different items. Let's get the next quest and head off. So you can point and click, or you can move around with WASD, stuff like that. Let's zoom out a little bit so you guys can see the full extent of the world. The world is actually really gorgeous and really well done. You've got all these little things like these seagulls flying around, stuff like that. Reminds me a lot of Final Fantasy and some of the other worlds that are definitely very Eastern. So now we need to take out some deteriorating Drake hatchlings. So I don't see any of those around, so all we've got to do is click on this, and we're going to take off in the direction to go find those. And while we do that, we'll look at some other stuff as far as the interface. You can see also on the map, you can see where we're heading. You can see these little arrows, and you can see the little area right there that's going to actually be where these little deteriorating Drake hatchlings are going to be at. So my character is going to cruise off in that direction, and we'll see that here in a second. Now we can go into our inventory. We don't have any gear yet, but when we go into C, which is actually our character level, you can see we're already level 3. We've got some gear on right now. Let's move this out of the way so you guys can see. Now I can move to set 2, and it actually takes all my gear off, and I just end up running around in a bikini. So you can either do that, or you can leave set 1 on, which is probably a good idea, especially if you're going to be taking out monsters and stuff like that, because it'll keep you from dying. Let's see what else we have here. Let's take a look at our skills. Now we have earned a few points. We've got some skill points here. You can see we can assign them to these different skills. So we've got the ability to assign it to Fireball right now, and that's, shows the attack, shows all the different damage and all the different properties of that spell. We've also got passive skills, so we can go in here and we can assign it here, which is stealth detection, find the source, which is property attack rate, research the origin of the elements, increase attack by 1.1%. We've also got train the body, which is max hit point increased by 5%. Mental discipline, max mana. So obviously that one's gonna be important. We've got this property hit train. So you see they've got a bunch of different skills here, and then these are going to be the different skills that you get in your transformation. You've got slot 1, slot 2, slot 3, stuff like that. Then you've got your standard actions, which is really funny. They've got love, they've got sexy. Let's go ahead and use sexy. See if we can use it. There we go. So she's gonna basically all she needs is a pole next to her, and she's good to go. So we've got taunt, greet, all this different stuff. Not a lot here, usually you see a ton of these in the game. Maybe later on they'll be adding more. Maybe once you reach a certain level you're going to find a bunch of these. But let's go ahead, and I want to pick up Fireball because I want to go ahead and use that skill. So now, even though I got 1 point left, I'm going to save that. Now once we apply that, we can then drag this skill down here, and there we go. So here's our deteriorating Drake hatchling. Let's use our new skill, Fireball. Didn't take him out right away, but as you can see, once I start my attack, I'll automatically keep attacking until either I'm dead or the monster's dead, or we use another skill to essentially take that monster out. Now you can see I leveled up again, which leveling it so far is really pretty quick. My other character's already level 11, and I don't have that much time, only like 4 hours spent on that character, so it doesn't take long. And like I said, you get these different points, and new skills open up. You can highlight over the skills to see exactly when they're going to open up. Like this one opens up at level 5, stuff like that. Let's go ahead and let's go over here and increase. Where's our max core variation rate? Can wear the dormant power, so core by 10%. That's probably a good one to have, seeing that's going to be about my dragon stuff. And we've got a bunch of different resistances down here. Where's the one with max mana? There we go, max mana. So we're going to go and throw one in there. I'll apply. There we go. Let's take out a few more of these guys. My good old my trusty Fireball. There's no game in the world that doesn't have a magician that doesn't have a Fireball. Fireball is just your staple magic attack for a magician. But the nice thing is as you can see, these things actually the cooldown on them is really, really quick. That guy kind of freaked me out for a second. This crazy armor walking behind me. So there we go. We've got all of our different meat. Let's go ahead and turn this quest in, and there we go. We've got a new robe. Let's go ahead and take a look at how that changes what we're wearing. So let's go to our inventory, and there's our new robe, and unfortunately it's kind of in the way. And even though we put it on, it actually didn't change the visualization of my character at all, because it's pretty much the same robe, just better armor and stuff like that. So let's get our next quest before we... So here we go. Now we need to head off to this outpost. So we're going to cruise off in that direction. Now very early on, I believe it's at like level 9 or 10, you're going to get a mount, and the mount is actually really cool. We're going to see one once we get to this outpost, because there's going to be a lot more people running around. The mount is actually, it's almost like a speeder, if you remember the speeders from Return of the Jedi, with a little bit, they also remind me of the speeders, kind of the introductory mount you get in Argo Online as well. So you've got a kind of a mix of fantasy and some kind of, I don't want to call it sci-fi, but it's kind of like steampunk, because you got these different guns and stuff like that for some of your characters. So it's kind of a crossover between a lot of different stuff. Reminds me, I guess you could say, a lot of Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy has a lot of that fantasy stuff, and also with the guns and sci-fi type of things in it. As you can see, like I was going to talk about, tell you guys the auto guide. You see the auto guide system. You can see how it shows up on the map. Let's go ahead and take a look at the world map here for a second. You can see all the different areas that you can go. Now, even though you see these different areas right now, you can see it's only a portion of it, as this has very few levels on it. And you can see the ship graveyard, level 1 to 4, the zombie forest 4 to 8. It's kind of cool because it tells you, okay, go to this area, go to that area. You also have a lot of instances, and the instance dungeons are set up. You can try and run them solo, but it's best to find a group, obviously, whenever you run instance dungeons. And what you're gonna have to do before you can actually get into the instance dungeon is someone in your party or yourself. You're gonna actually have to have the key to the dungeon. So you have to actually find the key by either killing monsters or getting it as a quest reward or whatever, and then you're gonna be able to actually do the instance dungeon. And obviously, just like any other game, the instance dungeon has a lot more rewards and a lot higher rewards. So it's definitely advantageous to do those. So there we go. There's another player. It's really weird when I did this the other day. There was just, when I was playing around with the game, there were tons and tons of other players running around. There's not as many as today, but it's also a holiday, so being a lot of people may be off doing other stuff. But here we go. We're starting to see some other players run around the town. Maybe it's just not as many players still in that new area. But the game is actually supposed to go live tomorrow, and we're doing our review today, so we're kind of jumping the gun a little bit, but that's okay. I mean, the game's cash shop is open, so even though it's still just an open beta for the next 24 hours, it's still pretty much a fully completed game. So there's the speeder that I was talking about. We can cruise over here and see a bunch of them just kind of sitting here and hanging out. So we can't ride these just yet, but we will be able to very, very soon. So, but you can see the town is well done graphically. Like I said, the game is gorgeous. I mean, not only from the character models, the animations, the combat animations, all of that different stuff. Also, the scenery in the backgrounds are really, really nice to look at. Sound-wise, there's always music playing. There's always good sound effects. It's nice to hear a game that actually took the time to put in and create sound effects that aren't just carbon copies of sound effects from other games and stuff like that as well. So, but we're going to continue to cruise around. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's trip inside the den. Don't forget to subscribe and keep yourself updated as each new episode is released. And don't forget to like and comment anything you see in this that I was wrong on, or anything that you want to say. We love to hear it. And if you'd like to play or learn more about Dragona Online, you can read our full review at MMODen.com or just click the link in the description. Till next time, thanks for watching.